There's a lot of well-meaning people in the world. From day one of our marriage, we had many of them in our lives. We found that those well-meaning people often had well-meaning advice, and that well-meaning advice, often it was just crap. So here's some examples. Marriage is easy when you find the one. Are you kidding me? I have never, ever doubted that Nancy was the one. But has our marriage been easy all the time? No. If we had heeded that advice that if we really found the right one, marriage should be easy, our marriage would have lasted 6 months or less. How about instead, marriage is hard, but going through it with your one makes it worth all the effort. Then there's don't argue, because conflict is a sign of a bad marriage. Well, if this is true, Nancy and I have a horrible marriage. You and your spouse are different. Nancy and I are different. Differences cause conflict. The key in marriage is embracing those differences and working through the conflicts so your marriage wins. You probably heard this one, never go to bed angry. I'm not sure how long I can go without sleep, but if we had heeded this advice, we would have had many, many days without any sleep. So let's look at another way. What if there is a conflict and we try to resolve it, but we just can't? But instead, we go to bed, we commit to work on it the next day, and then we make sure that we do that. Plus, I'm really better at resolving issues when I'm rested. How about this one? In a good marriage, romance and passion will always be alive. You will not always be on the mountaintop emotionally in your marriage. You're both human. This places everything on your feelings. It says nothing about commitment. Commitment to each other, to God, to your vows that you took together. That's what needs to always be in your marriage. How about this one? Your spouse will complete you. I like Jerry Maguire. I like the movie. I can hardly watch it now because I know that scene is coming. God created each of us in a unique way. He is the one who completes us. And when we depend on someone else to do God's job, we set us and our spouse and our marriage up for failure. So I'm sorry if I ruined this romantic moving moment for you, but really, Nancy cannot complete me. God does. And Nancy, she's icing on the cake. Think about that one for a while. Then there's marriages about being happy. So if you can find someone that says they are happy day after day and year after year in their marriage, let me know. I think they got to be robots or something. Am I happy in my marriage? Absolutely. Is it Nancy's job to make me happy every day? No. That puts a lot of responsibility on her, and there's no way she can control my emotions. That's my responsibility. And for me, it is a direct correlation to where I am in my relationship with God. The Apostle Paul put it best when he says that he is always content no matter what's going on around him. The contentment that Paul had, came from God. The same is true for us. And when I'm content, most of the time, I would say I'm usually happy. Okay, one more. Thinking more of your spouse and kids than you do is a sign that you are a loving person. In the book of Mark, Jesus says the second greatest commandment for us is to love our neighbors as ourselves. In our culture, that gets translated into putting your spouse, your kids, etc., everything above ourselves. It's the servant thing to do. But that's not what Jesus is saying. He says we have to love ourselves. And if I don't love myself, how can I love others like God wants me to? There may be too much junk getting in the way. It's not loving myself in a selfish way rather than in a healthy way. Then I can love others, and especially Nancy, as God wants me to. All right, one more verse. Spouse will naturally go closer as time goes by. I want this to be true. But if just the passage of time drew us closer together, all couples would be completely knit as one after so many years of marriage. So I just don't see this happening. Spouses grow closer together because they are intentional about their marriage, because they communicate well, because they consistently resolve their conflicts, because they keep their sex drive healthy, and because they put God at the center of their marriage. Marriage was never meant to be a sprint. It's a marathon, and there are a lot of obstacles along the way. It is a team race. It's navigating those obstacles together. It's seeing that awesome marriage banner at the finish line and always keeping our focus day after day after day on that goal.